Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a reformer workout for you using a ball and a band. Band wise, I would grab like a medium to a heavy setting. If you want to use two bands, you can always use two bands. I have more of like a medium setting for my band, but I do have a cloth or a fabric band, so it is a little more challenging than using like your typical resistance bands. So grab a band, set the balls off to the sides to start. We are going to begin with our bands. Foot bars are going to start at the top position or the starting position. I'm going to go a little heavier today for footwork spring, so I'm going to go 3 heavies and a medium on my balance body reformers. That's going to be 3 reds and a blue. You can go lighter than that, you can go heavier than that, that's up to you. And then we're going to lie down with the band around our legs. When we lie down, the headrests do have to start all the way down today. And then again, the bands are going to go all the way around our legs above our knees. And then once we get the band here, I'm going to take my feet just right onto my foot bar. I'm going to have them about sit bones distance away, so that just should be about that fist distance away from each other. Again, make sure headrests are down. We're going to start with some bridging. So I'm going to inhale first in my neutral spine here. On an exhale, I'm going to flatten my low back down into the carriage, and I'm just going to roll my spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. Now, when you go into your bridges, you want to think you're sending your tailbone to the backs of your knees, feet, knees stay parallel with each other, and then there should be a line from your knee to your shoulder. We're going to pause here for an inhale, and then on our exhale, we're going to articulate our spines all the way back down into the carriage, and then we're going to inhale into our neutral. Again, I'm going to exhale, flatten my low back down, roll my spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, keep the knees, feet parallel with each other, pause for your inhale, and then exhaling as we roll our spines all the way back down into the carriage. Again, inhaling into neutral. Let's do a few more of those bridges. Again, making sure that you pause for that inhale, articulate your spines all the way back down, and then on this next one, when we do come up into our bridge, we're going to hold ourselves up into that bridge. So go ahead, stay here. Pelvis is going to stay nice and level. I'm squeezing my glutes and my hamstrings. On an exhale, I'm going to lift my right knee up into a tabletop position. I'm going to inhale, set my heel back down. Exhale, left knee goes into my tabletop position, and then I'm inhaling again to set it back down. And we're going to alternate those legs going up into a tabletop position for a little march. The idea is, again, that pelvis is staying nice and still. So I'm just going to take a look at it, make sure that it's staying level the entire time. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower, exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Let's do 3, 2, and then last one with the left. When I set that left heel back down, we're going to pause, and then we're going to roll our spines all the way back down into the carriage, and we're going to pause again in our neutral. Okay, into another bridge. I'm going to flatten my low back down, roll my spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm going to pause here. Right knee goes back up into a tabletop position. We're going to hold. On my exhale, I'm going to push the carriage out. I'm going to try to go to a straight leg if I can. And then I'm going to bring the carriage back in. So again, I'm exhaling to push out, inhaling back. It is really heavy with these springs. If you can't push all the way out, that is fine. When I push, my knee, my hip, and my shoulders are still in a line. And then when I come back in, they're in that nice long line as I come back in. Exhale, push, inhale back. Let's go for 2, resist in, last one out. In, set the right heel down, pause at the top, readjust in your bridge if you need to. Left knee goes up into our tabletop position, hold. Ready? Exhale, push out with your right leg, inhale back in. So again, as I push, my knee, my hip, and my shoulder are in line. When I come back in, they're in that same line. So that means that the hips do lower when we push out. They do lift when we come back in. Push and in, exhale out, squeeze your booty. Inhale back. We'll do 3. And then last one. Now, when I come back in, I'm gonna pause, set my left heel back down, readjust in your bridge if you need to, and then one vertebrae at a time, we are gonna roll our spines all the way back down into the carriage, and then we'll come back into our neutral. We're gonna switch to the arches of our feet onto the foot bar. They're gonna stay again that same distance away from each other. Headrests are gonna stay down, one more round of bridges. I'm gonna exhale, flatten my low back down into the carriage, roll my spine back up, hold. From here, I'm gonna exhale, pull the band apart with my knees, and then I'm gonna inhale and release. Pull the band apart, and then release. And I am allowing myself to roll onto the outsides of my feet. That is fine. I want my abductors, outsides legs into the glutes as I pull, release, pull, release. Let's go 4, 2, okay, on this last one, hold that pull, and now we're just gonna do little pulses out, out, out. So think only pulse out with those legs. 5, 4, 2, 1, let the knees go parallel, roll our spines back down into the carriage, come back into our neutral spine. And now if we want the headrest to go back up, the headrest can go back up if you want them up. Stay on the arches of your feet. They're gonna stay parallel with each other, sit bone distance away. Today, we're gonna exhale to push our carriages out, and then inhale as we come back in. Exhale, push, inhale back. Bra lines are staying heavy. We're maintaining our neutral spine. The band should be pulled ever so slightly apart. So watch that it's not pulling your knees together. Knees and feet should be staying parallel the entire time. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. And then once we come back in, we'll pause. We'll go toes, balls of our feet onto the foot bar. Again, sits bones distance away. We're exhaling again today to push out. Little lift of those heels, keep that lift. Inhale as we bring it back in. Exhale, push, and inhale back. Think engaging your core on those exhales as we push out. Again, resisting to come back in. Again, let's do 3, 2, and 1. And then once I bring it back in, I'm gonna pause in. Heels are gonna go back onto the foot bar. We're gonna slide them as wide as we can out to the sides in our wide second position with the band. If you can't get all the way out, that is fine. Wide second here, exhale, push. Inhale as we resist to come back in. Keep those knees and toes pointed towards the outsides of the room. Okay, 2 more. And then last one, out and in. And then once we come back in, we're gonna pause, let our knees come back together. We're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides of our reformers. And then we can go ahead and change to a heavy and a light spring. And then our foot bars are gonna go all the way down. So 1 heavy, 1 light. Foot bars down, the bands will stay around our legs. We're gonna lie ourselves back down onto our reformers, and once we get down, we're gonna reach behind us, grab our short loops into our hands, and we're gonna go into some arm and abdominal work. So arms are straight up to the ceiling, hands are right over my shoulders, neutral spines, and then knees are gonna go up into a tabletop position. Today, since we have the bands, feet together, knees open about hip distance away from each other. So not a big pull, just a little pull, the band apart. Okay, starting with our curls. On an exhale, I'm gonna press my arms to my hips, curl myself up to my bra line, and then I'm inhaling as I return back down with control. Again, I'm gonna exhale, nod and curl myself right up to that bra line. Inhaling as we return, keep the feet together. Again, keeping our knees just open that hip distance away from each other. I'm gonna do 4 more curls. Two more. We should feel those abductors again, working to keep those knees apart. And then on this last one, we are gonna hold ourselves up into our curls. Keep the feet together, keep the knees apart. Inhale, dip the toes down towards the springs or the wooden platform. Scoop into your low abs to lift back up. Inhale, dip down. Exhaling as we lift. As always, if the necks are an issue, heads go down. I'm drawing my core into my back to help pull my knees back up into that tabletop position. Inhale, dip, scoop into those low abs to lift. Let's do 3, 2, and then last one. When we come up, arms up, heads down, relax the feet, and then if you just want to give yourselves a little bit of a stretch, we can give those knees a little sway, stretch, or a hug. Okay, let's go arms, again, right back up towards the ceiling, knees in our tabletop position. This time I want your knees and your feet about that hip distance away. So feet are not together. We're gonna go back into one abdominal curl. We're gonna press, curl up, we're gonna pause here. Without the left leg moving, I'm gonna dip my right toes down towards my springs or wooden platform. I exhale to lift up, then I dip my left toes down without my right leg moving, and I exhale to lift. So we inhale to dip down, exhale to come up. The opposite side, the leg that isn't moving, you should feel those quads working to hold those legs nice and still. Inhale, dip. Think engaging your obliques on that exhale to bring it back up. Let's do 3. Make sure that your arms, wrists stay long. Last one. And then arms up, heads down, relax your feet. As always, give yourselves a little stretch. You can sway your knees, you can hug them, you can stretch them. And then we are going to continue with some single leg work. So let's extend our arms back up towards the ceiling, knees tabletop, feet, knees, hip distance away, back into one curl. Press, curl up, pause. Single leg extensions, right leg extends out to a challenging level. We exhale to go in, we go left leg out, exhale back in. Again, the idea is that the opposite leg is gonna stay in the same position. So use those quads and hip flexors to hold your leg still. Arms and wrists need to stay long at your sides. Inhale out, exhale back. Let's do 4, 2, last one on the left. In, arms up, heads down, set the feet down, hang up just your left loop, and then the long loop is gonna go onto the arch of the right foot. Both knees, again, are gonna go right back up into our tabletop position about that hip distance away from each other. Arms are at our sides, hover them a couple inches, curl back into your abdominal curl. Okay, single leg squats here, left leg stays, right leg pushes out, and it comes back in, out, and in. If you need to take your left hand behind your head to support your neck, you can always take your left hand behind your head. Otherwise, you can keep your arms at your sides. I am hanging onto my carriage with my fingers so I don't get pulled. So if you want to hang on to your carriage like me, you can. Let's do 5. Think squeeze your glutes, control your pelvis. 2 and 1. And then once we come back in, take that strap off your foot, hang it up. Same thing on the left side. Long loop is gonna go onto the arch of your foot. Both knees tabletop. Again, they're about hip distance away from each other with knees and feet. Curl back up. If you need to take your right hand behind your head, do so. Exhale, push out with just the left leg. Inhale in, exhale out, inhale back. Keep that right leg. Again, trying to keep our pelvises nice and steady. Like me, if you need to hold on to the sides of your carriage, you can hold on to like the front of your carriage. Think squeeze our booties as we push out, resist in. Okay, let's do 4, 3, don't let that right leg move, and 1. And then when we come back in, this strap is coming off of our foot and we're hanging it back up onto the peg. Now we're gonna grab our balls, they're gonna go into our headrest, we're gonna flip onto our right side, and then I am gonna stay on this heavy light spring. If it's too heavy for you, you can take off the light spring and just do a heavy. I want it heavier today for my legs. When we flip onto our right side, we're doing sideline series with the strap. So grab the strap out in front of you, it goes onto your left foot, and then once we come here, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked, both knees are bent at a 90-degree angle, and then the left leg or the top leg lifts hip distance. This leg and the foot should be parallel to the floor. On an exhale, we're gonna press our left leg out and slightly back, and then we bend to come back in. So again, I exhale, I press, I give it a little kick, and then I inhale to bend. Obviously that bend is gonna add in a little extra work for us today. Make sure it does not pull the leg down towards the floor. It needs to stay parallel to the floor and lifted hip distance the entire time. We press, we give it a little kick, we inhale to bend. I'm gonna do 3, squeeze your booty. Last one, exhale out and inhale back. Now, external rotation. So toes, knees point up to the ceiling, hips still stay stacked. Exhale straight out in our external, inhale back in. Again, straight out in that external rotation, back in. Gonna feel the outsides of the glutes working a little more, glute med, glute min there. Push and resist. Okay, let's do 3. Make sure that the toes, knees stay pointed up. 2 and 1. Okay, bring it back in. Relax your leg on top of your right leg. Relax your left leg. Now, the knees are gonna stay together. My foot is gonna lift up into an internal rotation. So my foot is gonna stay higher than my knee the entire time. I'm gonna kick my left leg up, out, and slightly back. And then I'm gonna bend my left knee so it stacks back on top of my right. So again, when I kick my left foot, it goes up, out, and slightly back behind me. And then I'm bending to come back in. The foot stays higher than my knee the entire time. So I'm holding that internal rotation just like my external rotation. Exhale out and inhale back. And we're gonna work that glute med, glute min a little more in this internal here. Let's do 4, 2, and then last one. Then when I bend to come back in, I'm gonna take the strap off my foot. We're gonna hang it back up onto the peg, and then we'll flip over to the other side. All right, when we flip over to the other side, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Strap in front of you is gonna go onto your top foot, which should be your right foot. Both knees are bent at a 90. And then again, I'm stacking my hips and my shoulders. My butt, as always, is scooted like almost to the back edge. Mine is all the way to the back edge of my carriage here. And then the right leg lifts hip distance. The foot and the leg should be parallel to the floor. On an exhale, we press out and slightly back, and we inhale, bend to come back in. Exhale, press. That little kick back is gonna activate that glute max just a little more. So right where my butt connects to my leg, that's where I'm feeling a little more connection when I kick back. If you don't feel it, squeeze your booty. Again, think right where your butt connects to your leg. I'm gonna exhale, push, squeeze my booty to kick, bend to come back in. Sometimes you have to tell your body to use those muscles. 3 more. Okay, last one, out and in. Now external rotation, so toes, knees point up. Make sure that those hips stay stacked. We're gonna go out and in, out and in. This is always my least favorite. Make sure that your toes, knees stay pointed up. Working again, glute med, glute min a little more with this external. Okay, I'll do 3 and 1, ouch. Relax to come back in. Okay, a little nicer. Knees together, the foot lifts up off of your bottom foot. So that right foot should be higher than your knee for this entire series for internal rotation. I'm gonna push my right leg up, out, and slightly back. And then I'm coming in at that same angle. So up, out, slightly back, in at that same angle. Make sure your right foot stays higher than your knee. Again, the entire time. Exhale out, inhale back. Ooh. Okay, this side is a little worse than the left for me. Three, two, and one. Ouch. Okay, relax the leg. We're gonna take the strap off of our foot. We can hang it back up onto the peg. And then we're gonna go ahead and just sit ourselves off to the sides. When we sit off to the sides, we'll set the balls to the sides as well. And then we will put our foot bars up to the starting position again. I'm gonna stand this heavy light spring. We're gonna go ahead, keep our bands here, stand on our reformers, facing our foot bars with our hands onto the foot bar. Okay, beginning with a plank. Again, the bands need to stay around your legs. I'm gonna go right foot back to the shoulder block, heel lifted, chest over the foot bar, left foot back to the shoulder block, heel lifted, and I'm gonna push my carriage out with my legs, so I'm in a plank position. From this plank, I'm gonna push my arms away, and I'm gonna hold my arms here. Now the arms are gonna stay. We're gonna inhale, bend the knees, exhale, stretch the legs. Bend our knees, stretch our legs. Inhale in, exhale out. Imagine that there's like a finger in your hip flexors. It should disappear when you bend. It should reappear when you stretch. My chest is over my springs. Let's do 3, 2, last one, and then we'll lift, bring it back in. Feel free to step your feet a little further forward. Now, if your legs are a little shorter, you do not have to go all the way back to the shoulder blocks for this, but if you do have the option to move your foot bar closer if your legs are shorter, I would adjust your foot bars. The left foot goes onto the wooden platform. My right foot goes back to the shoulder block. Again, if your foot bar doesn't adjust and you have shorter legs, step your right foot a little further forward. If you feel comfortable, you'll stand up. If you don't, light fingers on the foot bar. I'm gonna bend my left knee to start here, and we're gonna hold this left knee bent. Then, trying to keep my carriage still. I'm now going to bend my right knee again without my carriage moving, and I'm gonna extend my right leg. And my left knee does bend and extend a little bit here. So I'm bending my right knee, I'm trying to tap the carriage. I'm extending my right leg. When I extend, I'm squeezing my booty. Inhale and exhale. Again, I'm trying to keep the carriage from moving. Bend and extend. A lot of work here in the front of that right leg. You're gonna feel your left leg obviously working too. Let's do 3, 2, 1. And then go ahead, take your hands onto the foot bar. Take your right foot all the way to the front edge of the carriage. Now, left knee is gonna bend again, the right leg is gonna bend as well. This is gonna be very heavy, so you don't have to push all the way out. Again, toes are curling over. I'm gonna keep my hands on the foot bar. I'm gonna push out with my right in, out with my right in. It is heavy. Do not think that you have to get to a straight leg here. If you need to take off that light spring, do so. Both of my legs are really working here. Okay, let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the right heel, step your left foot back, and then we're gonna do the same series on the other side. So right foot is gonna go onto the wooden platform. Left foot steps it back onto the shoulder block. Unless you have shorter legs, you don't have to get all the way back there. If you feel comfortable, take your hands off the foot bar. If you don't, light fingertips on the foot bar. Bend your right knee. The carriage should go out when you do that. The carriage now does not move. We bend our left knee to try to tap down. We extend our leg. I'm bending and extending. Again, movement to come down is coming from that left leg. The right leg is gonna move with you, but think working from that left. Don't let your carriage move. Ooh, find that balance. 4, my legs are burning. 3, 2, 1. Hands on the foot bar. Ouch, bring it in. Okay, step your left foot all the way to the front. Toes should be curled over. Again, if it's too heavy, you can change your springs. Bending both knees, keep your hands on the foot bar. We're gonna go out with the left, in, out with the left, in. Exhale, inhale. Again, you do not have to get all the way to a straight leg if you can't push all the way out. Ooh, feel that burn. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And in. Okay, go ahead. Step your right foot back onto the carriage. Step both feet off. Take the bands off. We're going to give ourselves a little stretch, and we are going to do planks again. We are taking off this light spring, so now we're just on one single heavy. If it's too heavy for you for the stretch, you can go a medium instead of a heavy, but this should be good for most people. Hands on the shoulder blocks, kneel, facing your straps. Knees are going to be towards the back edge of the carriage, not on your shoulder blocks. My toes, balls of my feet are onto the wooden frame. And then I'm gonna bring my left knee just a little further forward. My right knee is gonna stay back. I'm gonna push out with my right leg so the knee is lifted. And then from here, I'm gonna push out even further, and I'm dropping my right hip down to try to stretch out the front of my front of my right leg. If you wanna do a little side stretch, you can. Hold. Okay, bring it back in. Set your right knee down. Left foot goes back to that wooden platform. We're gonna push out. Again, I'm gonna drop my left hip down, 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 down. So I'm stretching out the front of that leg. If you wanna lean to the right a little more, you can. Hold. Okay, bring it all the way back in. Toes, both toes balls of our feet are gonna be on the wooden platform. Forearms are gonna go down in between our shoulder blocks. And then I am gonna scoot my knees kind of back just so it's easier to set up for this. We're gonna go into forearm planks. So again, forearms down, toes are on the platform. We're gonna lift our knees up, stretch our legs, and we're gonna hold this. Starting with pikes, I'm gonna tuck my pelvis, hike my hips so my carriage comes in. And then I'm gonna push out. Exhale, tuck, pike, and then inhale, pushing back out. Scooping into my core to lift, and in. Let's do 4, 2, and 1, and back. Okay, hold our planks, elbow slides, arms are gonna push, arms are gonna pull, that's it. Arms push the carriage out, they bring it in, they go out, in. Legs stay in the same spot, but stay down. Scoop into your core. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, carefully come down. And then if you wanna give yourselves like a little stretch into child's pose, you can. Okay, we'll sit off to the sides. We're gonna go 2 heavy springs, 4 feet and straps. And I am gonna add on a light spring today just because we are going a little more leg work. So I have 2 heavies and a light. If you wanna stick to your 2 heavy springs, you can. Lie yourselves back down onto your reformers. Head rest again, can be up or down. That's up to you. We're grabbing our long loops and they're gonna go onto our feet for feet and straps. Now, when we get our straps on, our legs are gonna go down to a little lower than a 45-degree angle, and we're gonna come into our Pilates V. So we have our heels together, toes turned apart, and we are holding our neutral spines. Starting with frogs today, I'm gonna inhale, bend my knees in, exhale, stretch. We're being mindful that when we bend, we are not collapsing into our low backs. Our bra lines are gonna stay heavy. Inhale, bend, exhale, again as we push back out. Okay, let's go for 2. And then last one. Now we're gonna hold our legs out and we're gonna move into extended frogs. So I'm gonna open my legs out towards the side of the room, bend my knees, bring my heels together. Again, being mindful I'm not collapsing into my low back. And then I'm gonna push out. So we open out to the sides, we bend, we bring the heels together, we push. Now, if you wanna make this a little more challenging, a little more advanced, from the position when you open out here to where we bend, keep the carriage still. The carriage will move when you push out and open, but then again from here to here, keep it still. Exhale out, inhale, open, bend, and push. Last one. Now, when I bend to come back in, I'm gonna pause in, heels together, toes are turned apart. Reverse, we're gonna open our legs out towards the sides of the room. We're gonna zip the heels back together so those legs need to stay long. And then we bend to come back in. So we open out to the sides. We zip the legs together, you should feel your adductors. We bend to come back in. Again, if you wanna make this a little more challenging, from the position where you bend here to where you open here, keep your carriage still, and then it'll move when you zip them together and bend. So again, from bending into that frog to opening out to the sides, try to keep your carriage still, and then you can allow it to move when you zip those legs back together. Up to you. Okay, we'll do 2. And then last one. And then once we zip our legs together, bring your feet parallel with each other. We're gonna lower our legs a little further down towards our springs. Open them wide out to the sides to circle around and back up. Exhaling as we lower. Inhale as we circle around and back up. Again, maintaining that neutral spine the entire time. Okay, let's do one more in that direction. And then when I come back up, pause, and then we're gonna reverse. So we're gonna open our legs wide, press them down and around, zip them together, and then we're hinging at our hips to come back up. Ooh, feeling those adductors working again. Okay, we'll do 2 more in this direction. And then last one. Okay, now once we come back up, don't worry about your neutral spine. If you want to stretch out your hamstrings or your inner thighs, just give yourselves a quick stretch. We are going to finish with our headrests all the way down. So if you do have them up, go ahead and put them down. We're going to finish off our feet and straps with skips, which are one of my favorite things to do just because it's a nice stretch. So the legs are going to go out again about a 45-degree angle away from us. I have my feet parallel with each other this time, so no external rotation. And just know when we do lift up with your butt, because your butt will come up off the carriage, the range of motion is going to be up to you. Now, you have to keep tension in both ropes. We're going to start with the right leg being long and the left knee bending. So I'm going to let my right leg slowly go up to the ceiling. I'm going to bend my left knee as I do that. And as I bring my right leg up, my butt is going to lift off of the carriage. And then I need to think evenly weighted throughout both straps. I'm gonna articulate my spine down and I'm slowly pushing through my left foot. So when I come back, my legs are both straight at that 45. Then we're gonna go left leg long, right knee bends, roll up. Again, evenly weighted throughout both feet. Articulate your spines down. Slowly push through that right foot to go back into the starting position. And then up. Now you can take these at your own pace. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. I don't care how high you go or what pace you go, whatever feels best. I want you to roll out your spine. This should feel good. And it's an inhale to go up and an exhale to push back down. Again, it should be an articulation up, one vertebrae at a time, and an articulation down. Don't just like plop your spine down. 3, 2, and 1, and back. Okay, we'll take our straps off of our feet, hang them up onto the pegs. We're gonna finish off with lunges. Sit to the left side of your reformer, one heavy spring for lunges. Right foot is gonna go back to the shoulder block closest to you. Left foot is right by the foot bar. I'm gonna push out with my right leg first. I'm gonna push out with my left leg. I'm gonna hold this stretch wherever it feels comfortable. You can move, remember, if you want to, you can hold onto the frame. Stretching out the front of the right leg, back of the left. Okay, then we're gonna bring it back in and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So left foot back, right foot is on the floor. I'm gonna push out with my left, push out with my right, hold. Again, just kind of holding wherever it feels best. If you feel like you need to stretch out your hamstrings or your quads a little more, okay, those carriages can come all the way back in. Can sit yourselves off to the sides. We are all finished with that workout. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.